Here are my top 10 teams in the NFL as of week 5. Number 10, I've got the Los Angeles Chargers. They're coming off a win against the Cleveland Browns and are now 3-2 on the season, and the 2 losses are against Jacksonville and Kansas City. The Kansas City one I'm not going to hold against them because of who the Chiefs are, and the Jacksonville loss was really just an ugly game, and I guess every team gets 1 or 2 of those a year. Even with the injury to Rashawn Slater, they have been able to throw the ball and put up points in every game, and they've got some injuries on the defense as well, so I don't think that this is a Super Bowl roster, but they're definitely a top 10 team. Number 9, I've got the Minnesota Vikings. Their only loss on the season is to the Philadelphia Eagles, and not going to hold that one against them. And they're not blowing people out, but they have been playing fairly well. Kirk Cousins is doing Kirk Cousins things. It's not going to blow you away, but it's not going to kill you. Justin Jefferson leading the league in receiving yards and is well on pace to being a first-team All-Pro once again. Number 8, I've got the New York Football Giants. They're 4-1 on the season. I do think that they're overperforming a little bit right now, so I do think that they'll level off again later in the season, but it doesn't take away from what they've done so far. Saquon Barkley, I think right now, is the comeback player of the year, and Daniel Jones is game managing and their defense is playing good, so I do think that the Giants are a good team and they'll probably be in the fight to win the division, but right now I've got them as a top 10 team. Number 7 in the same division is the Dallas Cowboys. They've beat the Giants this year. They're the only ones to beat the Giants this year. And even with Dak Prescott out, they've managed to win 4 straight games with Cooper Rush as their quarterback. And that has been behind the performance of their defense, which is spearheaded by Micah Parsons, who might be the best defensive player in the league right now. So Dallas is going to get a big test this week against Philadelphia, and we're going to know more about both teams after this week, but as of right now, I've got Dallas at number 7. Number 6 is the San Francisco 49ers, and I think if they got a few of their players back, like once their tackle's back, I think that they'll probably creep into the top 5, and they're definitely better with Jimmy Garoppolo than Trey Lance. They've gone back to running the football more, and Deebo Samuel's playing well, and Nick Bosa, hopefully that injury is not serious and he can return. And San Francisco was my dark horse pick at the beginning of the year to possibly make and win the Super Bowl, so let's see how they do. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 5. Their 2 losses this year are just to the Chiefs and the Packers, so against 2 good teams, they've been able to run the football well, and they've been beat up at wide receiver, so I think once they're healthy and they have all their weapons back, they're one of the best offenses in the league, so watch out for Tampa Bay at the end of the year. Number 4 are the Baltimore Ravens. Really, I think this is a 5-0 football team. The games against Miami and against Buffalo, they had those games won, and they kind of just let the teams come back into it. If you guys had the Bet365, then they probably got the early cash out. So I think Baltimore is a good football team. I think they could be a top 3 right now if it weren't for those 2 blown leads. And Lamar Jackson is playing great. Not so much last week, but overall on the season he's playing great. And I think Baltimore still has a chance to make the Super Bowl, but I guess we're going to find out. And number 3 is the Philadelphia Eagles, who I know are 5-0, but I'm not putting them at the top because I do think strength of schedule has something to do with it. And again, we're going to find out a lot about them this week when they go against that Dallas defense, which I do think Dallas has a chance to win. But the Eagles have been playing great on both sides of the ball. Jalen Hurts has taken a big step forward in his 3rd season. And look for the Eagles to go deep into the playoffs. Number 2 is the Buffalo Bills. And they destroyed Pittsburgh, but I mean, Pittsburgh's a shell of themselves. They're not really a good measuring stick for anything, and they shouldn't have beat the Ravens, but they did, which I guess is a testament to their guts, and they didn't give up and they managed to pull out the win, and they're playing the Chiefs this week. So Chiefs versus Bills at Arrowhead. and that's going to be a game you're not going to want to miss. I think the Chiefs are probably going to win. It's Patrick Mahomes' first time being a home underdog in his whole tenure in Kansas City, so watch out for that. And at number 1, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. I've got them as the best team in football right now because between them and Buffalo, it's close. It's almost a wash. So I'm going to take the team with the better quarterback. And we really are going to find out more this week because they do play against each other. So for this week, those are my power rankings. But stay tuned because next week there might be some shuffling at the top.